You might think the world is finally cutting ties with Chinese manufacturing. Trade wars, tariffs, and talk of decoupling. It sounds like the era of made in China's fading. But look around you. The phone in your hand, the laptop on your desk, the light above your head. Almost every product still traces back to China. The world tried to move away and failed. Because China's dominance in manufacturing isn't just about cheap labor, it's about an entire industrial ecosystem that is totally beyond your imagination. An industrial ecosystem so massive, so interconnected, so efficient, that the rest of the world can't ever compete. This is the untold story of why China's manufacturing dominance is, for now, completely unbreakable. Let's start with a number that'll blow your mind. China produces 28% of all manufactured goods on Earth. That's more than the United States, Germany, and Japan combined. But it's not just about quantity. It's about something economists call industrial density. Picture this. You're a startup in California with a brilliant idea for a new gadget. You design it, patent it, get funding. Now you need to make 10,000 units. In America, you'd spend weeks finding suppliers. One company makes the plastic casing in Ohio. Another does circuit boards in Texas. Batteries ship from South Korea. Assembly happens in Mexico. Each step takes time, coordination, money. And if one supplier fails, your entire production stops. Now imagine the same startup, but in Shenzhen, China. You walk into an industrial zone called Huaqiang Bay. Within a single kilometer, you'll find every electronic component imaginable. Dozens of prototyping labs, hundreds of assembly workshops, and engineers who can solve problems on the spot. Need a custom circuit board? 4 hours. Want to tweak the design? Done by tomorrow. Ready to manufacture 100,000 units? Start next week. This is what locals call Shenzhen speed. And it exists because of something no other country has managed to replicate. Complete vertical integration. China didn't just build factories. It built factory ecosystems, entire cities dedicated to single industries. Shenzhen for electronics, Dongguan for toys and hardware, Yiwu for small commodities, Guangzhou for textiles. Each city is a self-contained industrial universe. Suppliers, manufacturers, logistics companies, and even banks. All within minutes of each other. When Apple needs 100 million iPhones, only China can deliver. When the world needed 200 billion masks during the pandemic, only China could respond. This isn't just efficiency. It's industrial supremacy at a scale the world has never seen before. But factories are nothing without people. And this is where China's advantage becomes truly staggering. Every year, China graduates over 7 million engineers. That's more than the US, India, and Europe combined. But it's not just about numbers. It's about specialization. China has created an entire educational system designed to feed manufacturing. Vocational schools train welders, CNC operators, and quality control specialists. Technical universities produce robotics engineers and materials scientists. Graduate programs focus on industrial automation and supply chain optimization. The result? A workforce that isn't just cheap, it's skilled, disciplined, and massive. Let me give you a real example. In 2017, Tesla tried to automate everything at its California factory. Elon Musk called it the alien dreadnought, a factory run entirely by robots. It failed spectacularly. Production delays, quality issues, financial losses. Why? Because humans are still essential for complex assembly. Now look at Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory. It produces more cars than any other Tesla plant in the world. Higher quality, lower cost, faster production. The difference? China's workforce. Workers who can adapt to new processes in days, not months. Engineers who solve production bottlenecks overnight. Shifts that run 24/7 without complaint. This creates something Western factories simply cannot match. A culture of relentless production. When demand spikes, Chinese factories don't just work harder, they scale instantly. Need to double production? Hire 10,000 workers by next month. Need specialized skills? Pull from a pool of millions. This flexibility is invisible on balance sheets, but it's the reason why, when the world needs something made, they still call China. Now here's where most people get China completely wrong. They imagine Chinese factories as sweatshops, endless rows of workers hand-assembling products, low-tech, low-skill, low-wage. That image is 20 years out of date. Today, China is leading the world in manufacturing automation. Walk into a modern Chinese factory, and you'll see something that looks like science fiction. Robotic arms moving with millimeter precision. Automated guided vehicles shuttling parts without human drivers. AI systems monitoring every step of production in real time. Machine learning algorithms predicting equipment failures before they happen. China now installs more industrial robots than any other country. In 2023 alone, it added over 290,000 robots to its factories. That's more than Europe and America combined. But here's the genius move. China isn't replacing workers with robots. It's augmenting them. Low-skill, repetitive tasks, automated, high-skill assembly and quality control, still done by humans. This creates a hybrid model, the speed and precision of machines, the flexibility and problem-solving of people, and it's all connected through something called smart manufacturing. Imagine a factory where every machine talks to every other machine, where data flows from the production floor to the cloud in milliseconds, where AI analyzes millions of data points to optimize production schedules, minimize waste, and predict demand. That's not the future. That's happening right now in thousands of Chinese factories. The Made in China 2025 initiative pumped billions into this transformation. Tax breaks for automation, subsidies for AI research, government-backed loans for factory upgrades. The result? Chinese factories are now more productive, more efficient, and more innovative than ever before. While Western politicians debate whether to invest in manufacturing, China already rebuilt theirs from the ground up. But even the best factories are useless without one critical thing: infrastructure. And this is where China's advantage becomes almost unfair. Let's talk about ports. 7 of the world's 10 busiest ports are in China. Shanghai alone handles more cargo than the entire United States. These aren't just ports. They're hyper-efficient logistics machines, automated cranes, AI-powered scheduling, 24-hour operations. A container ship can unload, reload, and depart in under 24 hours. In many Western ports, that takes 3 to 5 days. Now, let's talk about transportation. China has built the world's largest high-speed rail network, over 42,000 kilometers of track. Trains moving at 350 kilometers per hour, connecting every major city. Why does this matter for manufacturing? Because it means workers, engineers, and managers can move between factories in hours, not days. It means raw materials and components flow seamlessly across the country. Then there's roads. China has more highways than the United States. Trucks can deliver goods from inland factories to coastal ports in record time. And energy. Chinese factories run on one of the most stable power grids in the world. Coal, hydro, nuclear, solar, wind. Diversified energy sources mean factories never stop due to blackouts. Compare that to countries like South Africa or Pakistan, where power outages cripple production for hours every day. But infrastructure isn't just physical. It's also digital. China has built the world's most advanced 5G network, Over 3 million 5G base stations, ultra-fast, ultra-reliable connectivity that lets factories operate in real time. Imagine a factory in rural China controlling robotic systems, monitoring supply chains, and communicating with global clients, all with zero lag. That's the digital infrastructure advantage. This invisible backbone is what makes China's manufacturing so resilient. It's not just about making things, it's about moving them, powering them, and connecting them faster than anyone else. For decades, China had a reputation: the world's factory, the copycat economy, great at making things cheap. Terrible at innovation, not anymore. Today, China files more patents than any other country on Earth, more than the US and Japan combined. In 2023 alone, Chinese companies filed over 1.6 million patents. That's not just quantity. Many of these are in cutting-edge fields: electric vehicles, battery technology, renewable energy, artificial intelligence, quantum computing. Let's take one example: batteries. A Chinese company called KTL produces 1 out of every 3 electric vehicle batteries in the world. It's not just making them, it's inventing new battery chemistry that's cheaper, safer, and longer lasting than anything the West has developed. Or look at electric vehicles. BYD, a Chinese company, now sells more EVs than Tesla. It's not competing on price alone, it's competing on technology, design, and performance. How did this happen? China realized something crucial. Being the world's factory isn't enough. You need to own the innovation, not just the production. So Beijing launched massive R&D investments. In 2023, China spent over $600 billion on research and development. That's more than the entire European Union. The government funds labs, subsidizes startups, and protects intellectual property. Universities collaborate directly with factories. Engineers move seamlessly between academia and industry. And here's the strategic masterstroke: China has a domestic market of 1.4 billion people. That means Chinese companies can test, refine, and scale products internally before going global. Western companies need to export to survive. Chinese companies can thrive domestically and dominate internationally. This shift from imitation to innovation is restructuring global power. China isn't just making your products anymore, it's designing the future. So after everything we've covered, you might ask, why doesn't the world just leave? Why don't companies move to Vietnam, India, or Mexico? Here's the truth: they've been trying for years. After the 2018 trade war, hundreds of companies announced they were leaving China. Reshoring, friendshoring, diversifying supply chains. Politicians cheered, media celebrated. But then reality hit. Vietnam has cheap labor, but not enough skilled workers. India has potential, but terrible infrastructure. Mexico is close to the US, but lacks the supplier ecosystem. Companies quickly realized something. Moving final assembly is easy. Replacing the entire supply chain, nearly impossible. Even when a product says, made in Vietnam, dig deeper. The components? Chinese. The machinery? Chinese. The logistics software? Chinese. You can move the factory, but you can't move the ecosystem. And China knew this would happen. That's why Beijing launched a strategy called dual circulation. The idea is simple but brilliant. Reduce dependence on foreign markets. Build self-sufficiency in critical technologies, so even if the West cuts ties, China's industrial engine keeps running. Semiconductors, rare earth materials, advanced manufacturing equipment. China is investing trillions to control these choke points. The result? A fortress economy. One that can survive and thrive, even in isolation. The world thought it held leverage over China. Turns out, China holds leverage over the world. Of course, this dominance isn't perfect. Environmental damage, worker exploitation, regional inequality, ghost cities, debt bubbles, aging population. These are real challenges. But here's what separates China from other economies. It doesn't just react to crises, it plans around them. Pollution crisis? Invest $300 billion in renewable energy. Labor shortage? Automate faster than anyone else. Debt concerns? Restructure industries with state backing. Western democracies debate. China executes. And that's the uncomfortable truth. The same system that enables rapid industrial growth also enables rapid adaptation. Whether you admire it or fear it, the results speak for themselves. So let's come back to where we started. The world has been trying to break free from China for over a decade. Tariffs, trade wars, political speeches, corporate promises. And yet, China's grip on global manufacturing only tightened. Why? Because what China built over 40 years isn't just factories. It's an interconnected industrial organism. A supply chain so dense, moving one part breaks 10 others. A workforce so vast, no country can match it. An infrastructure so advanced, it makes competitors look decades behind. An innovation engine now rivaling, and in some areas, surpassing, the West. China didn't just become the world's factory. It became the factory the world can't live without. And that's why, for now, China's manufacturing dominance is unbreakable.